because you're spending money on Pokemon. It's not really investing. So there's been 10 sets, starting with Scarlet and Violet base and ending with Destined Rivals. So, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. If you're doing really well, leave me a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Scarlet and Violet, as of the making of this video on July 1st, has been out since, like, what, March 31st of 2023, I want to say, with Destined Rivals being the newest set to come out and release for Pokemon. A lot of people like to refer to their purchases in Pokemon as investments. I'm not necessarily saying that you should invest in any of these, but I am emphasizing the liquidity potential. And when it comes to Pokemon, something that I have learned through trial and error is that not everything is liquid. I have a beautiful collection of special illustration rare trainers, and I don't know how many people there are that would even give me 80% for them, despite them all being over $10, despite them being beautiful, having Umbreons and all these colors, and it doesn't matter. Liquidity is king. So with that being said, let's take a look at some of the purchases that you could make within the Scarlet and Violet era that are going to be much more difficult to make in 5 years, in 2 years, in a year from now. So people aren't even buying the 151 ETB right now, and that's very reminiscent to how it was when it came out. I remember passing up on this in Target, even though I really liked white. I like white and black products when it comes to Pokemon. White and black, you know what I'm saying? I really love Plasma Storm, Shining Legends. What's a good white box? Brilliant Stars. What's a better white box? Celebrations. What's an even better white box? Generations. I really think that might be the best ETB of all time. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Anyways, talking about 151 here, guys. 96 quantity, purchased around 3 times a day. People aren't even buying this. I can't say that this is a good buy when I know that the Pokemon Center ETB is more hyped, right? I would assume. I definitely think if you can get this, though, and you don't have it, it would be something good to hold, because even though people are not really opening these, I think that this is just going to be something that people want in their collection, similar to like a booster box, right? I think that this is on par with, let's say you have somebody who likes to collect sealed and they like to get booster boxes and they know that they're going to get like a booster box of Paradox Rift or something like that because it's a part of, the era that they're collecting, right? They're not necessarily, obsessed with, that one set or that one item specifically. And the reference here is people might not be obsessed with this one ETB, but ultimately I do think that it's something that they're going to want to have in their collection when when Scarlet and Violet is all wrapped up. And if you look, there's really not that many. 36 sellers. We'll see if there, ends up being any more that hits the market. I don't imagine there will be. I would love to see this in stores, though. Obviously would pick it up. But yeah, in terms of liquidity, I think it's very liquid. I think if you brought this to a card show, you would be able to get really close to 100% value for your item. Definitely when it comes to trade and things like that. So to me, that says that the product is quite liquid, and I really don't think that people are paying attention to it that much. Next week, if I see that, there's under 50 quantity, for example, if I see that there's under 50 quantity or 25 quantity, I would probably be purchasing this as a way to hold on to it, in terms of memory. I don't think that this is the best price per pack that you can get. I don't recommend buying this to open it at all. I think if you were going to go crazy and spend a bunch of money at that point, you might as well get the booster bundle display box at that point, which I honestly think is one of the best sealed investments right now. I have to look at the price per pack and everything like that, but just in terms of like premium, you're not paying a super crazy premium unless, of course, all the sub $800 boxes have been purchased of the booster display box for the 151. But yeah, guys, this is a really, really, really nice ETB. We just don't have anything like it for, Snorlax. The promo is super sick. People like the promo. I like the promo. The promo has multiple Pokemon on it as well. There's a sleeping Snorlax and a Pidgey as well. For those that don't know, Snorlax literally eats 880 pounds of food a day and promptly goes right to sleep. So really, really, really cool. 151, a very collectible set, a very nostalgic set. Some argue that it covers, or excuse me, it carries the entire era. Definitely really, really liquid. So moving on. This right here is my banger of a sleeper pick right here, okay? The Paradox Rift Pokemon Center ETB up 133% on the year. Man, I wish I was buying this thing off of Pokemon.com for like 60 bucks or whatever it was. I actually really like the box. I was researching for a video and I was looking at different boxes to see kind of what I thought was the most aesthetically pleasing. And I came across this, and then I started to look at the quantity, and I told myself, oh, maybe I should actually pick this up. I like it more than the other Iron Leaves, maybe. Leave a comment down below. But yeah, this is getting really low in terms of quantity. This is under 30 quantity. And honestly, I think people are going to look back, and I think that Paradox Rift is going to be a better set than people remember. I think Paradox Rift has some really cool artists and illustrators, and ultimately people are going to look back on this set. And if you don't know every single card that's already in the set, then you can usually go through and find something to appreciate. This is a Ghost in artwork. It's the first PSA graded card that I purchased from Paradox. But yeah, Paradox Rift, I think people are going to look back in this set and they're going to realize, like, yeah, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards I like, you know. The Altaria, people have said that they liked it, you know, a little bit controversial because some people don't really like it as much, but I'm a fan of any card that has multiple Pokemon in it. And there's, what, 10 Pokemon in this card, it looks like almost. Maybe 9, maybe 8. That's really awesome. Did you guys see the Fluttermane right here? Did you guys see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? There's like 7 Pokemon, 8 Pokemon in this card. So I really like that one as well. This arguably should be the #1 card. I think we'll see this one get bought up. Also, there's 5 Pokemon in this card. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Paradox Rift is a sleeper, man. I am telling you guys. Not saying that it's more valuable than even Surging Sparks or 151 in terms of set value or anything like that. But if you look, if we're looking at it like shares, right, which probably shouldn't do with Pokemon unless you're confident that everything is going to retain its value. But ultimately, this is all pretty much secondary market at this point. Can't guarantee that it's going to stay at this price. However, given the allocation of quantity, the remaining quantity, I just think that this is going to be definitely desired once it gets down to 10, 11 left. People are going to want this. And I think it looks better than the other box. I think Paradox is probably realistically about 3, maybe even 6 years away from seeing a lot of gains, which means that ultimately the singles driving the box price is not going to happen for a while either. If we look on TCG Player, it looks like you can actually purchase this. Like you can actually kind of get this, which is pretty cool. There's multiple reputable sellers. You can literally get this today, and I think it's a pretty safe buy as well. I think it's also going to be pretty liquid as things continue. I've got a cat sitting on me, so let's see if he disrupts the next part of the video. Alrighty, so moving on, but staying on the topic of liquidity, we've got Scarlet and Violet Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box. I think this is one of the best looking ETBs. Back during the Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, Scarlet and Violet base set days, I was purchasing the Koraidon ETB because I liked it more. I didn't really like the purple at the time. And so this week was actually the first time that I saw this Pokemon Center ETB. And I was researching Pokemon Center ETBs because I wanted to see aesthetically which ones I liked the most. And honestly, you guys are going to have to watch that video when it drops, but this one is up there. This is a pretty box, and we're not getting any more of this. There's only 19 listings. 23 quantity. I think that this is a very liquid item, but I think this is just a Grailed, honestly. I think that this is a Grailed. Think about it. If Scarlet and Violet is somebody's first era, right? This is like kind of like the first Grailed in a way. Are you going to argue it's the booster box? Well, I suppose you could. That's a great play too. I think the booster box is a little undervalued personally for Scarlet and Violet base. It's a base set. Base set isn't very good, I'm going to be honest. I like the Miriam. I really do. I like the Gardevoir set. I think from a TCG standpoint, makes so much sense. Thank you so much for giving us Gardevoir. Please continue to give us Gardevoir cards. I love the design of Gardevoir. So much. Also, I'm going to tell you guys a huge secret. The population report for PSA 10 for that Ralts and Curlia in a PSA 10 is astronomically low. It might be under like 500 or 750 for both. Might be under 1,000 combined for both. Okay, if you have the Curlia and the Ralts, you should probably try and send it in for grading, because if you have a PSA 10, you're going to feel really, really good about it in 5 to 10 years. I think this is a beautiful box. I think there's low quality. Excuse me. This is a beautiful box with low quantity remaining from a very, very nostalgic era in Pokemon. It's nostalgic already. Illustration rares, super cool. And also, when you consider how fast Pokemon is putting everything out, I mean, how long did Scarlet and Violet last? 2 years? This box is going to be $400. You're not going to want to buy it for $400. I'm not saying it's going to be $400 before 2030. I mean, it very well could get there. But I think it'll probably realistically be somewhere around $330 by 2028. It's my prediction. We'll also see how things go with quantity as well, because if I am predicting that, I'm probably predicting that it's not going to be sold out by then. So in my previous video with Sword and Shield, I was talking about things selling out and not being able to get them anymore. I think that you'll be able to get Scarlet and Violet product, because I think now people have more information about saving products and ultimately getting higher return on their investments and liquidations as time goes on. You know, people are purchasing products more with the intent to sell them down the line or liquidate them, whatever the case might be if need be. This is one of the prettiest boxes. I just think it's a grail. I think it's the first grail of the Scarlet and Violet era, next to the Scarlet and Violet booster box. But realistically, like, you don't really want to open either, right? And I would argue, I don't know. I think logically it makes sense to open the ETB more, right? But some people are going to disagree, and they're going to want to open up the booster box. But I think that since it's more packs, it's more of a premium, which is why I think that people are ultimately going to open these, right? But once they open them, well, more singles come onto the market, but one less box is on the market. So I'm just thinking that long term it's going to be a really good play for liquidation. I think if you spend $220 on this and you're able to liquidate it for $300, $345, whatever it might be, you know, and you're able to turn this into a PSA slab that you really like down the road, like, I think you're going to be happy with yourself. Or if you end up holding on to it, you like Miraidon, anything like that. This is going to be some kids' favorite legendary in the future. This is going to be super nostalgic. They're going to know about the Scarlet and Violet ETB when they might have never known about the Pokemon Center ETB. They're going to see it. They're going to fall in love with it. And the same could be said for the Obsidian Flames Pokemon Center ETB. However, when it comes to the Obsidian Flames Pokemon Center ETB, I feel like this one is a little bit more nostalgic for people kind of who already know about it. If you see, there's actually a pretty good amount that are actually being bought. Looks like somebody just picked up kind of a lot of these guys. These are really moving right now. Only 31 of these left. I think that this is just something that, in terms of liquidation, I think it's just a really strong indicator of how good a Pokemon Center ETB can do if people like the promo. People really like the promo. I accidentally traded away like 13 of the regular ETB promos Do I regret it? Yes. Every day of my life. I try not to think about it too much. This is a good looking box. It's a popular Pokemon. It looks derpy. I like it. Very, very, very hard to, very, very, very hard promo to grade. So I think this is one of those things where you shouldn't buy this if you're not a Poke Bro or a Poke Gal. You should not be purchasing this if you think that you'll be able to flip it for big money later on, whatever. I think that you should definitely look at this as this is an item that is holding its value that could potentially go up 10% return on investment from when you get in, assuming you get in for under $330. If I could get this box for under $330 from a reputable seller, that would make me really happy. I'd be really, really happy about that. I myself am very nostalgic over Obsidian Flames. I opened up so many Obsidian Flames ETBs. I was going to GameStop, nobody wanted them. I was going to Target, nobody wanted them. I was able to get as many as I wanted. They were on the shelves immensely. Regardless, Obsidian Flames, this isn't even something that you open. It's not as. Oh, I even pulled the Charizard, the number one hit from this set. Yeah, I've had really, really, really good luck with this set. And I think that people are just appreciating it. I think it's just one of those things where it's like the price is the price, the data is the data, and you just, you understand that it's goodbye. So I think the Obsidian Flames ETB, it's not going to get reprinted. It's getting bought up a lot. Out of all the boxes I've shown you, this one is actually the most sought after. And like I said, I think it's a good buy under $350. When are we going to see this box hit $350? Probably very soon. Only 30 quantity. How many of the 151 boxes are there left? 96 quantity. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Obsidian Flames box looks pretty good. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's probably somewhere in my top 20 ETBs of all time. I really like the different colors there, like the monochrome. Looks really good. And very liquid as well. So Paldea Evolved is going crazy right now. This is one where I would actually probably recommend maybe staying away from it, tracking it a little bit longer, seeing if you can get it. I really like the idea of a black box, black Pokemon product. I think Pokemon does a really good job with that kind of stuff. This box is no exception. It is 3 starters. Sprigatito is very popular. Fuecoco is very popular. Quexley's on the box. And yeah, I think that this is definitely super liquid. So much crazy stuff going on with Paldea Evolved. I like the Raichu a lot. The electricity, the sleeping chew, it's really cute. I like the Iono a lot. And I really do like the Magikarp as well. It's an IR, which I didn't realize that it didn't have texture. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of IRs for that reason. I'm a really big fan of textured cards. It just feels valuable to me, and valuable is a very, very, very bad word to use there for lack of a better term. I just like the feel a little bit more of the SIRs. But Paldea Evolved Pokemon Center ETB, we're not getting any more of these. If you look at the quantity, we're looking at 24 quantity. People are buying it. A couple people are buying it. Yeah, people are definitely buying it. They just bought it all up at $300. Now we're seeing it at $400. So you could probably try and find this on eBay. This is one where I think that if you can find this on eBay and then you can liquidate it, you're going to be very happy with yourself, I would imagine. So these are items that are going to be very liquid within the era. If you notice, I didn't put any booster boxes on here. I kind of just did ETBs. But it's because I don't think that any of these ETBs are getting reprinted. I think they all visually look really good. And I think right now we are seeing a little bit of separation within the community. Not everybody is following the next big thing. I think people are actually individually discovering what they like to collect. I think people are also broadening their horizons and trying to get a more diverse amount of products as well. And so if you are trying to diversify these are 5 boxes that are slam dunks.